What's up, YouTube? I am not used to this camera. I don't even know if I'm looking in the right place. I'm just gonna look straight at the lens and hope that my eyes are looking at the camera. I have just been finishing up some work and I thought it would be fun to make some banana muffins. So I have a really good banana bread recipe on my blog, Katie&Colin.wordpress.com. It'll be linked in the description below. But I'm feeling banana bread muffins. Well, partly because I only have 2 red bananas instead of 3, which the original recipe calls for. So I'm gonna try to make banana muffins instead. I also thought it would be fun to show my screen or do a screen recording on my phone of how I enter my own recipes on MyFitnessPal and then how I track my macros for each serving of what I make. So I thought that would be kind of cool in case you guys need help learning how to do that, or you've never done it before and want to learn how. I've got you covered. So I'm gonna make those banana bread muffins and then you'll see that screen recording of my phone here while I do so. Okay, hopefully the lighting's not too bad in here, but I've got all of my ingredients. I'm gonna make just a few ingredient swaps because I don't have everything on hand that the original recipe calls for, but that's okay. We're gonna make do with what we have. And then of course I'm gonna sprinkle in some chocolate chips, Ghirardelli. How do you say that? Ghirardelli? Ghirardelli? I don't know, I never know how, but they are the best chocolate chips on this planet. So I'm gonna add these and we'll see how they turn out. Okay, I am going to walk you through how to create a recipe on MyFitnessPal and then also how to go about tracking each serving so that you are accurate in the amount of calories you're eating, the amount of protein, carbs, and fat you're getting with each serving you choose to eat. So first things first, you're gonna open MyFitnessPal. You're gonna click on More down at the bottom right. You're gonna click on My Meals, Recipes, and Foods. Create a recipe, enter ingredients manually, and then this will bring you to the first step. So you're going to input your recipe name. So I'll put banana bread muffins. And then under servings, I like to put in 1 to begin, and then we'll get into how I change that, why I change that later on. So go ahead and click the top right arrow. And then this is when we are going to input all of our ingredients. You're gonna click Add Ingredients. You're gonna search for a food. So I'm gonna start with bananas. And when I'm searching for specific fruits, veggies, eggs, things that don't come with a barcode that you can scan, I always like to type in USDA afterwards, just to ensure that I am choosing the most accurate calorie count. So I'm gonna go with this first one here. I'm going to change the serving size to 1 gram, so this way I can enter in the exact amount of grams that I have for my ingredients. So let's just say I used 300 grams of bananas today. You'll enter in that number, you'll click that check mark at the top right, and then you'll go back to add your next ingredient. So I used all-purpose flour today from Walmart, Great Value brand. So that's what I'm going to search for. I'm going to hit that top one, and then I'm going to enter 180 grams. So these numbers are not necessarily the numbers that I used in this muffin recipe today, but I'm just plugging in numbers so you have an idea of what you should do. So obviously the amount of grams that you use for a certain ingredient will be different depending on the recipe. Okay, so I also used some light brown sugar. I think it is Imperial brand. So I'm going to search for that. Yes, I used 16 teaspoons, let's say. So I'll enter it that way. I used 2 eggs. So again, here I like to enter in USDA. And I am going to choose, I'll just choose this one right here. So 70 calories per egg. I used 2 of them. I also used unsweetened applesauce, Great Value brand. I used half of a cup of that, which was 1 serving according to the label. And then finally, I'm going to enter in some unsalted butter, also from Walmart. I didn't have any ghee on hand, so I used this instead. I used 4 tablespoons, so I'll go ahead and enter that. And then I also used 5 servings of milk chocolate Ghirardelli chips. I did not enter that in right. There we go. That first one here, I used 5 servings. So 5 times 15 gives me 350 calories. Okay, so I also used things like cinnamon, salt, baking soda, baking powder, and vanilla extract. I don't usually enter those as ingredients when I'm creating a recipe, just because they have very minimal calories, if any at all. So I tend to leave those out. Now, if you're wanting to go back and reference a recipe so you can remake it in the future, and you're trying to remember which ingredients you used, then I would definitely put in the exact amounts you used of those ingredients. But for me, this is already on my blog. I have this recipe memorized, so I don't need to do that. All right, so once you're finished entering in all of your ingredients, you'll click the arrow on the top right. And then this is where you're going to change the number of servings. So I'm recording this voiceover after I filmed this video, so I may have already mentioned it, I may not have mentioned it yet, but I'll go ahead and just repeat myself for the sake of tracking. So anytime I make a recipe and I'm storing food in a specific container, I always weigh the container before the food is in it. So for example, I would weigh the muffin tin with the muffin liners in it before pouring the batter in them. So let's just say I weighed that, it came out to be 416 grams. So you're gonna wanna remember that number. So then once you are finished baking or cooking whatever food it is that you are making, then once it is in the container, you're gonna weigh that same apparatus again. So after the banana bread muffins are finished, after they're cooled, I would weigh them. So I would weigh them with the muffin tin in the muffin liners, if that makes sense. So let's just say, for the sake of easy math, that weighed 832 grams after they were done baking. So then you would take 832 minus 416 to get 416 grams. So that is the amount of grams of the food that you have, that you will be consuming. So I'm going to enter 416 in the number of servings, which equates to 416 grams. I would hit save so that when I go in for a specific serving, and I'm trying to track that as accurately as I can, I would weigh the amount of the food that I want. So let's say I wanted 1.5 muffins. So I weigh that, let's say I get 53 grams. So then you're going to go in to recipes, you'll click on banana bread muffins or whatever it is that you are about to consume. And then in number of servings, you're gonna type in 53 grams. So that will give you the exact amount of calories, the exact amount of carbs, fat, and protein that you will be consuming in that one sitting. So this just makes it easier to track, so that way you don't have to split a recipe in 4. So if you didn't want to eat, 1/4 of the recipe, or you wanted a little bit more but not, as much as half, this just makes it easier to track the specific amount that you're consuming. So let me know if you guys found this helpful. I know for me, this way definitely makes it a lot easier to track specific servings, so that way I don't have to, commit to dividing a recipe up into a strict number of servings. I can have as much or as little as I would like. So again, let me know if you found this helpful. Drop a comment down below. If you'd like me to do videos on other tips and tricks on how to navigate MyFitnessPal, I would be more than happy to do so. But for now, I'll let you guys get back to the rest of the video. Okay, ignore the dishwasher in the background, but I have lined my muffin tray, muffin pan, whatever you want to call it, with some cupcake or muffin liners. And then the batter is done. This smells so good. I think it was because the bananas were just so freaking ripe. Usually I don't wait till they're that ripe, but this is the consistency that you want the banana bread batter to be. I'm gonna add my chocolate chips in, but before I do that, I'm gonna head on over here. Whoops. This is on a tripod still, so the legs are like hitting everything. I need to get better at this YouTube thing. Oh, get that dirty pan out of the way. Hashtag this is real life. Okay, we're gonna preheat the oven to 350. I should have done that at the beginning, but I just remembered now. So we're gonna wait for that to preheat. I'm gonna move back over here, put the batter in the muffin liners. I always forget what they're called. What are they? Cupcake liners. Cupcakes, muffins, same thing. All right, I'm gonna put those in there and then get them in the oven. I'm back. I know I said I was gonna put the batter into the muffin liners, cupcake liners. Oh my gosh, I need to pick one. Muffin liners, I'm making muffins. Okay, muffin liners. I promise you guys I'm not crazy. Anyway, I know I said I was gonna put those in here and then put them in the oven, but pro tip, when you are making multiple servings of a recipe and you're trying to track each serving specifically in MyFitnessPal, and you're trying to be as accurate as possible, for something like this, you want to weigh the container that you're going to make the food in. I mean, there are different ways you can do it. This is the way I'm gonna do it now, so this is the way that I'm gonna explain it. But I'm gonna weigh the tray and then the cupcake liners as well. So this whole thing weighs 416 grams. So that way, I don't have to measure out the specific amount of batter that I'm going to put into each muffin. To me, that's way more tedious than doing it this way. So I'm just gonna put the batter in here, and then when I take them out of the oven, I'm gonna let them cool, and then I'm going to weigh this same thing again. This time they'll have the muffins in them. I'll weigh it, so let's say, just for easy purposes, what's 416 times 2, 832. I don't know why I picked up my phone for that. So let's say it weighs 832 grams once the baked muffins have baked. Then you would take 832 grams and you would subtract 416 grams, which was the weight of this without the muffins in it, to get 416 grams. So that's the amount that you would enter in for total servings in the recipe section on MyFitnessPal when it asks you that question. How many servings are there? You say 416 grams. So that way, when you have a muffin, you can take one muffin, you'll weigh that muffin, and then say that muffin weighs 52 grams. Then when you're tracking that serving or that recipe, you'll insert 52 grams as the serving size, and it'll give you the calories for that specific muffin. And then say the next day you want another muffin. You'll take a muffin, weigh it. This time it might be a little bit more or less than 52 grams, but that's the serving amount that you'll be having, and then it'll calculate those macros for you. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if it does. If it doesn't, I'll redo this explanation and try to make it a little simpler. Back to scooping the batter. right, this made about 11 normal sized muffins. This poor little guy didn't get any batter. Oh well, next time. All right, I'm gonna take these, toss them in the oven, see if I can do this one-handed. Okay, they are in the oven. I'm gonna leave them here for 10 minutes. 10 to 12 minutes for these muffins. For banana bread, obviously I'd probably go a little bit longer, 35 to 55 minutes. If you wanna make this into banana bread, if you wanna make it a little bit healthier, check out that recipe on my blog. I just made a few swaps because I don't have white whole wheat flour, I don't have coconut sugar, and actually, I think those are the only 2 ingredients I didn't have. So I just used all-purpose flour and granulated sugar, which works just fine. So I'll let you know how they turn out. All right, fam, this is what they look like pulled out of the oven. I ended up having to leave them in there for like 20 minutes because I pulled them out at 10 and they were super squishy still. So I put them in for 5 more minutes and then decided to leave them in there for another 5. So this is what they look like. It smells so good in here. But anyway, like I was talking about before, I am going to weigh the tray with the cupcake liners and the muffins in there. So it was 416 before, and now it's 887. So then I would take 887 and then subtract 416, and I get 471. So that is how many servings are in this entire batch. So then if you just want 1 muffin, you would take 1 muffin out, zero out your scale, and then you would weigh that, and that's 45 grams. So then you have 45 servings of the 471, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. That's how I do it. Makes things super simple. But now we're gonna have a taste test. This guy just got home.
I'm back.
Ignore the mess in the background, please. We're decorating things and things are a mess. So, all right.
I'm hungry. I haven't
Take
eaten.
your pick.
Okay, what am I eating here?
All right, those are banana bread muffins. So I tweaked the recipe that's on my blog a little bit because we didn't have all of the ingredients, but it's basically bananas, flour, a little bit of sugar, unsweetened applesauce, vanilla extract, baking powder, baking soda, and an egg.
Okay.
And that's it.
I'm gonna be super honest here.
Okay.
Mmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Give him an inside shot. Look at that melty chocolate chip. Oh, I put chocolate chips in there if you if you couldn't tell. I only put 3 servings, so 45 grams, so there's not a ton of them
These
in
are
there,
healthy?
but healthier than most, yeah. No butter in there.
This is damn good. Oh, especially like when you get like a good chocolate chip
Yeah.
bite because they're melty. Mmm.
Go make these.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm gonna eat this whole thing. So sorry, babe.
Give them back. Sharing is caring. No, I was thinking they'd be so good if you put like peanut butter on them. You could even put a little bit of butter if you wanted to. Ooh, I bet my vegan, this Earth Balance vegan butter that I've shown before would be super good on it. Oops, where's the front? This would be super good on it, or just peanut butter, or even cream cheese. You could do so many things with these guys. So versatile.
They're so good and they're like so simple.
Right. Literally so simple. And
there's no bitter
eyeballed
pieces
pretty
or
much
anything.
everything.
There is baking soda or no in here?
Yeah, baking soda and baking powder.
Yeah, I can't taste it, so that's good.
Sweet.
Usually there's like
Thumbs
chunks of,
up.
like, bitterness. This is awesome, guys.
Woo woo.
It gets
Yeah, what do you rate it out of 10?
it gets an 8 out of 10.
Oh!
What do you mean? I gotta be an honest critic.
Okay, that's still pretty good.
Yeah. My only issue is that most of it's stuck to the bottom.
I know, I was just determining whether or not I wanted to spray it, but sometimes they get so greasy at the bottom too, so.
Yes. Otherwise, it'd be 10 out of 10 and beyond.
Okay.
Flavor-wise, it's a 12 out of 10.
Okay, make these.